Sunday Live with Jeff Koinange and Olive Barrows.
That's right. It's the very last Sunday in January, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We are approaching the finishing line. Not bad. The color the color kind of works. Very nice.
What about this guy?
You didn't get the memo, but grey and pink also works.
Yeah, I can.
The Muzungu.
Do you know I've learned a lot since Friday?
Have you?
Do you know what the sign language and how the sign language interpreter identifies you?
Go on.
The coat.
The jacket, waistcoat, yeah?
Yeah, mine is.
Yours is.
Go ahead.
No, the grey hair.
Oh,
so they do like this.
Ndungu?
I haven't got one.
You don't have one yet?
You're too new. You don't deserve one.
So for Raila here was the
yes
goatee.
And then you know who this was?
No.
Paul Mwite.
Oh, and do you know what? Which was this?
No.
Observe the news.
We have a great show for you tonight, folks. Start tweeting at Koinange Jeff.
At Barrows.
And at Emmanuel ND.
Don't forget at Citizen TV the hashtag.
Citizen Sunday Live. And we have somebody who's coming to studio.
That's right, our guest tonight, the activist turned presidential candidate.
And he is already in the building. In the building.
Boniface Mwangi, you all know him. He has played a big role in putting Kenya's ills on the front page. Stay tuned for that.
Send your questions, the highlights.
Absolutely. Coming up right. Sunday Live begins
tonight.
Right now. Tonight.
Another attack on Gachagua. Chaos as a mystery police unit in plain clothes attacked church with bullets and tear gas canisters in Odinga.
Mwalimu yeyote mwenye atarudisha mtoto nyumbani, huyu mtoto akifika nyumbani, mwalimu naye atoka aende nyumbani.
Admit or face the sack. Head teachers ordered to adhere to presidential directive to admit learners without fees and uniform or face the sack. Another police killing. 2 men fighting for their lives in Kajiado after they were allegedly shot by a senior DCI officer in Kitengela. Feeding on donkey meat. Fight to save donkeys is far from over as the trade continues to boom. Yulanzale did not tell us what her sign is, but Alaska during the break. Before then, DCP, and that is Democracy for the Citizens Party leader, Rigathi Gachagua, was yet again tear-gassed during a church service in Odinga, Nyeri, and one of his vehicles burnt. Several congregants were reportedly injured during the chaos, with Gachagua evacuated through the fence at the back of the Wairima ACK church. And as you'll hear now from Stephen Leto, several vehicles belonging to the opposition leaders were damaged during the chaos that was blamed on the police.
It was yet another chaotic church service for DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua and his allies, as the church service at Witima ACK was disrupted as cloud of tear gas engulfed the church. What followed was sporadic gunfire as Gachagua and his team scampered for safety. One of Gachagua's car was burned while several others were damaged. Several people were injured during the melee as they scampered for the safety. DCP leaders' bodyguards whisked him away into the thickets as the vehicles were vandalized on the other end. After the melee, Gachagua retreated to his Wamunyoro home in Mathira constituency and narrated the ordeal.
A gang of us 15 police officers, rogue police officers, under the command of 2 bodyguards belonging to that guard Betty Maina, the women rep from Rana. These people came with a police vehicle, GK vehicle, GKB 765X, and another one from Marawa police station. that ferried goons and police officers from Murang'a.
Gachagua claims that the police rained bullets towards him and his bodyguards, questioning why such an occurrence, barely 200 meters from where the church function was, not responded to by local police.
These officers attached to Betty Minor are the ones that attacked us in Kagio, they attacked us in Narok, they attacked Senator Nyoto in Murang'a, and they have attacked us today. The vehicles number are here, Kipchumba Murkomen. These police officers' images are circulating on social media. So what are you telling us? You have asked the IG to investigate. You cannot investigate yourself. This is a government attack, well known to Kipchumba Murkomen. Stop pretending that you are shocked that a church can be attacked.
Gachagua also refuted claims that he is stage managing attacks for political mileage.
I've seen a lot of nonsense by government bloggers trying to say that we can stage manage our own attack. Where can we get access to tear gas? Is it sold in a supermarket or in Gekomba? Where do we get access to AK-47 assault rifles? Where do we get access to government land cruisers? Where do we get access to police uniform? We can't. And Kenyans are not foolish.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka condemned the attacks on Gachagua and called for immediate and in-depth investigations.
Kwa hivyo tunakemea kwa nguvu zote tukio hilo na kuweka mbele yake Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto. Ni lazima yeye mwenyewe ndiye ameidhinisha tukio kama hilo. Haliwezekani bila William Ruto kusema fanyeni hiyo kazi.
This thing will pass. And I want to tell the people of Kenya, the darkest hour is just before dawn.
Gachagua reiterated that he remains undeterred and unbowed despite the spirited attacks on him, saying he will soldier on with the journey to liberate the country. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Now, at the same time, police have launched investigations into the chaos, with Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen asking the Inspector General of Police to undertake the probe with the urgency it deserves.
That's right. Murkomen further directed the police to move without fear or favor and deal decisively with the sponsors and perpetrators of this act without regard to their status in society or political affiliation.
That's right. Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, on his part, said that violence, whether organized by political opponents, by self for sympathy, or by whoever or whatever purpose, is a criminal act that undermines our democracy and violates the freedom of assembly and of worship guaranteed by the law. Now, 2 men are fighting for their lives at Kajiado Referral Hospital after they were allegedly shot by a senior officer attached to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, the DCI.
The shooting incident occurred at around 2:30 a.m. at a popular entertainment joint in Kitengela, Kajiado County, following what witnesses describe as an altercation between the officer and the two victims. Citizen TV's Ben Kiri has more.
CCTV footage captured from a nearby building shows several individuals appearing to engage in a confrontation at the entrance of the club at around 2:20 a.m. Moments later, panic ensues as patrons are seen running out of the premises shortly after gunshots are believed to have been fired. According to preliminary reports, a senior DCI officer is said to have drawn a firearm and shot the two men, injuring them in the head and abdomen. The officer fled the scene and remains at large. While the DCI is yet to issue an official statement regarding the incident, he was in the company of 3 other officers at the time of shooting. The victims have been identified as Joseph Mosontu and Kevin Maseri. Medical reports indicate that both sustained serious gunshot wounds to the abdomen. The two victims were initially rushed to Kitengela Sub-County Hospital before being transferred to Kajiado Referral Hospital, where they are currently receiving specialized treatment. Investigations into the incident are ongoing as authorities seek to establish the circumstances surrounding the shooting and the whereabouts of the officer involved. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, in other news, here's a quote. Admit grade 10 learners or quit. That is the warning to principals and head teachers from Kenya Kwanza Alliance leaders led by Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migosi. regarding the stalemate between school heads and the government over grade 10 admissions.
Kindiki has given principals and head teachers a one-week deadline to enforce President William Ruto's directive for learners to report to senior secondary schools whether or not they have uniform or school fees. Satholale with the details.
The standoff between school heads and government's directive to admit all grade 10 learners countrywide unconditionally is quickly escalating. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki now says every learner must report to school whether or not they have uniform or fees by Friday, as earlier directed by President Ruto.
Wale wako na uniform waende shuleni. Wale hawana uniform waende shuleni. Wale wako na school fees waende shuleni. Wale hawana school fees waende shuleni. Hiyo mambo ingine yote tutazungumza watoto wetu wakisoma.
Speaking during an interdenominational church service at Maemba, Sigowen, Soin, Kericho County, DP Kindiki stated that 92% of grade 10 learners have reported to school and that the government will ensure the remaining 8% report in the course of the week.
Tumebakisha 8%. We want this week tukamilisha hiyo kazi. Kila mtoto, the 8% that is remaining should report, ndio tuongee hiyo mambo ingine watoto wetu wakiwa shuleni.
Speaking separately, Education Cabinet Secretary Migos Ogamba wants school heads to admit grade 10 learners or quit.
Mwalimu yeyote mwenye atarudisha mtoto nyumbani, huyu mtoto akifika nyumbani, mwalimu naye atoka aende nyumbani.
Speaking during a church fundraiser in Kitutu Church in North Constituency, Ogamba promised action on the prices of school uniforms.
Watatu waine hawana uniform kwamba hawezi, hiyo shule hawezi endelea. Hiyo ni upuzi. Huyu mwalimu aende nyumbani.
The Kenya Kwanza leaders also drummed up support for the ODM-UDA coalition talks, saying unity will get President William Ruto his second term in office.
Wengine wabunge kama kuna wengine sio inaitwa Wiper, kuna wabunge kama 9, kuna wengine inaitwa sijui Jubilee, kuna wabunge 4. Yaani chama ndogo ndogo.
Ukabila ni sumu. Unasikia mtu anasema bwana waziri kwamba ati watoto wa Kisii wakifanya vyema wasiende kusoma Nairobi. Na nyinyi mnanyamaza tu.
Na anybody that is dreaming kwamba they can roll back the gains that have been made out of SHA, out of affordable housing, you are dreaming and you don't live in the reality of the 21st century.
The leader saying the Kenya Kwanza coalition remains focused on elevating Kenya to a first world economy through targeted investment in key sectors of the economy. Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
All right, in other news, the rift within the ODM party continued to widen, with the warring factions staging similar and parallel meetings and going for each other's jugular.
In Kisii County, the Ubuntu-led leadership said they're ready for a national delegates conference as a faction led by the party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and Siaya Governor James Orengo distanced themselves from the planned coalition talks with UDA.
Now, ODM party leader Dr. Odinga reiterated that the Orange Party will not expel rebels in the party. Let's get more from our very own Stephen Stowe.
Basi and Bomachoge Borabu constituencies in Kisii County played host to ODM leader Dr. Oburu Oginga. ODM consultative forum on whether or not the party should hold coalition talks with other parties, starting with UDA. Another ODM faction led by Siaya Governor James Orengo and Party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna held a rally in Dagoretti North constituency in Nairobi. The faction led by the Siaya Governor, Wine Kawangwara, accused the current party leadership of not being keen on implementing the 10-point agenda signed between the late party leader with President William Ruto.
Msidanganywe. Raila kusema mambo ya coalition. Alisema haki ya wananchi itimizwe kwanza.
Serikali ya UDA iko na maadili inafanana na ODM. Hawa ndio kwenye kuhujumu demokrasia kila siku. Wanashika vijana wetu eti kwa sababu mtu ameandika kitu kwa Facebook.
Kwanza tunataka NDC iitwe. Na kama mwezi ita NDC, tuko hapa na katibu ambaye anasimamia mambo ya kuita NDC.
In Kisii, pro-broad-based leaders castigated the Orengo-led faction as they vow to stand with party leader Oburu Oginga.
Why are you so jealous of Oburu? Why are you jealous?
Some people are saying that the shoes of Raila are too big for me. Even though I know they are big, but I'm trying, I cannot surrender.
I know in the party we have seen pressure groups, caucuses coming up. That's an unhealthy party. But for sure, under the leadership of Daktari Ubuntu, we will stabilize the boat.
Despite growing rift within the party leader Oburu Oginga said the party will not expel its rebels despite their dissenting voices.
And our party is not a party for expelling people. We are not going to expel anybody from the party.
We are stabilizing the party and moving forward. I've seen Ayenas scavenging, thinking that the party will go down. It won't.
The meeting in Kisii, hosted by Deputy Party Leader Simba Arati, sought to rubber stamp the party's numerical strength in the larger Nyanza bloc, with the party leadership saying they are ready for a national delegates convention to have a ratification of its new leadership structure.
Party leader ambaye atachaguliwa pale kwa NDC itakuwa ni Dr. Oburu Oginga. Na deputy party leader atakuwa Simba Arati. Na mwingine atakuwa Abdul Swamad. Na chairperson atakuwa si mwingine ila ni Gladys Nyasuna Wanga.
Tuheshimu party leader wetu Dr. Oburu Oginga Odinga. Tumeelewana? Tuheshimu party leader wetu kwa heshima ya juu. Kukua party leader sio mchezo.
The Rengo Sifuna faction insists they are firmly in office and warned against any impending removal from office.
Hatuwezi tukauze chama chetu, chama cha Raila Amolo Odinga.
ODM party leader rallied the Gusii region to fully back the Orange Party and support the party's resolution to hold coalition talks with UDA ahead of the 2027 general election. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Now listen to this really sad story. Abigail Mutubula, a patient at Kitengela Sub-County Hospital who was stuck with a dead fetus in her womb, has undergone an emergency cesarean section.
Abigail's plight was featured on Citizen Weekend yesterday, as she accused the hospital's management of neglect and subjecting her to a series of failed induced labor attempts which compromised her health.
Now the hospital has refuted the allegations and confirmed that the patient has been attended to and is recuperating. Let's get more from our very own Seraphine Achieng Oma.
This was the unfortunate scene outside Kitengela Sub-County Hospital on Saturday as Abigail Mutubula, a patient at the facility, narrated her agony. Abigail, who lost her baby in the womb, lamented the sluggish response by the hospital to remove the dead fetus and being subjected to a series of failed induced labor attempts that left her helpless. It was after the incident was reported by Citizen Television that Abigail was readmitted to the facility in a sorry state. Citizen TV has since established that she has undergone an emergency cesarean section and is recuperating.
Kwanza nashukuru kwa media kuintervene, especially Royal Media, Citizen, kwa sababu baada ya intervention tumeona mabadiliko. Tuliona pia madaktari wakiitana mkutano, wakaita familia. Na pia wakakuja wakaniita, wakakubali makosa ilikuwa pande yao na wakaomba msamaha. From there wakatuambia kwamba tukae mpaka saa 12 waone vile ana behave, ndio kama itakuwa imeshindikana kabisa aenda aoperatiwe, ambapo ilifika saa 12 akaoperatiwa na akatoka akiwa sawa.
Up to now msichana ana respond, anaongea, anakula, treatment yake imeenda sawa.
Our efforts to reach the hospital's management for response proved futile and they would later share a statement terming media reports about Abigail's plight inaccurate and misleading. The hospital claimed that the patient was admitted to the maternity ward on Friday, 23 January 2026 at 2:14 p.m. and that she had not been at the facility for 3 days. Sentiments disputed by the family, who claimed that Abigail arrived at the medical facility at 10 a.m. and not in the afternoon as alleged by the hospital.
Hiyo ripoti wanasema ya uongo ni ya ukweli. Kwa msichana alifika hapa Friday saa 4. Hiyo saa 4 akachukuliwa akaambiwa aende scan. Scan wakamficha wakajaribu kuficha kidogo, wanasema mtu anapumulia kwa umbali. Wakamweka maji, hiyo saa 6 wakamweka maji. Chupa ya kwanza ikaisha, ya pili kuenda. Ya tatu wakamwambia asaini kwenda aende CS. Hiyo CS hakuenda. Saa 8 bado wanamkoroga tu. Bado sasa hiyo saa 8 ndo wakaandika kwa barua tu wamempokea na mgonjwa alipatikana hapa saa 4.
The hospital says that at no time was the patient denied treatment or sent away. The facility confirmed that upon failed induced labor, the patient underwent an emergency cesarean section, which established that the patient had suffered a stillbirth. The family claims that it was after being taken round in circles that they called for intervention in a desperate effort to save their kin, who was at the time enduring overwhelming pain. Citizen TV crew had to make several calls, including to the Ministry of Health and the county government of Kajiado, before Abigail was readmitted.
Hiyo operation si ndo tuliforce, ndiye hawakutaka. Juu walitaka waendelee kukaa na huyo mtoto kwa tumbo. Ingawa sisi hatukutaka juu mama pia angepoteza maisha yake.
Safina Chengoma, Citizen TV.
Now, at the same time, a suspect believed to be behind an arson attack in Mukuru, which left an 8-year-old girl dead and 3 other members of the family with serious burns, has been arrested.
That's right. The 27-year-old Ronald Nyakohe was apprehended in Isinya, where he had been hiding, and you'll hear more now from O'Day Francis.
Ronald Nyakohe claimed after his arrest that his wife, currently hospitalized at Kenyatta National Hospital with severe burn injuries, had tried to leave him, allegedly because he had no money. These are the charred remains of the house Ronald Nyakohe is accused of setting ablaze in Mukuru's Bomayangu Estate 7th floor. The incident occurred on Wednesday, 21st of last week. Investigation suggests the motive behind the attack stemmed from domestic dispute.
Akawa anamtishia, anamwambia kama hatuwezi kaa na wewe nitakufanyia kitu mbaya. Sasa hapo ndio shida ilianzia. Mpaka ikafikia mahali anawachomea kwa nyumba.
Baada ya mkutano huo jamaa alionekana akingojea mama malize mkutano. Mama akamwambia siwezi ingia kwa pikipiki, wacha mimi nipande gari niende kwa nyumba. Huyo jamaa akapaki pikipiki yake alimfuata mpaka kwa stage. Kata alimfuata mpaka kwa stage akaingia kwa gari, lakini kwa gari baada akaanza kumfuruta. Wala makanga wakamwambia mbona unarasimisha mwanamke? Si unamuongeleza polepole. Wakamsukuma akatoka alafu wakafunga mlango.
The 7th floor apartment now stands eerily silent, a grim reminder of the tragedy. Outside, the scene cordoned and remains under police investigations. At Kenyatta Hospital, the mother and her child continue to fight for their lives.
Nikapato mdogo amewekwa ICU, amefunjika. Wakaniambia yeye ashafariki. So mwenye ako sahihi alimbaya ni sister yangu, but waliniambia atakuwa sawa. Kitu tu nilikuwa naomba serikali kuje tuone pale pa kukaa juu tunakaa nje bado na hatuna pa kukaa, tuna kitu ya kukula, tunahangaika.
Ronald was arrested in Isinya, Kajiado County, around 2 a.m. and transported to Makadara Directorate of Criminal Investigations. During the arrest, he gave a chilling account of what led to the attack. Ronald tells of how he felt jilted despite having invested in his life and resources into the marriage. The Makadara police commander confirmed the arrest, while his lawyer decried being denied to see or speak to his client, who is currently in custody.
We've made the effort to access the accused who is here, but the same has been denied. And that is against what is recommended in the Constitution under Article 50.
While the suspect was in hiding in Isinya in Kajiado County, currently he has been brought here at Makadara DCI Division, awaiting to be taken to court tomorrow. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Makadara DCI Division, Nairobi.
All right, listen to this next story. Mama Ida Odinga has officially accepted her nomination as Kenya's permanent representative to the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP.
Speaking at Petha Cathedral Church along Thika Road, Ida termed her nomination as an honor. She thanked all those who congratulated her. And if approved by Parliament, Ida will replace Ababu Namwamba, who's been moved to be Kenya's ambassador to Uganda.
Let us introduce those ones. Of late, thank you very much those who congratulated me for this new appointment. To me, it is an honor, and I'm happy about it. But of late, I have been going through some challenges. Now, I lost my husband about 3 months ago. Before that, every time I stood here, people would say, introduce me and say, she's the wife of. But these days, I've been given another baptism, and that is the widow of. I still carry that name with pride.
Are you going to introduce me, or are you just going to... Olive?
The camera is not even on me.
Okay, we're going to take a break in a little while. In the meantime, our guest tonight, activist turned presidential candidate. This man's face is so familiar, award-winning journalist, but the activism is the one that he keeps going after. Who does that? Bonnie, come on, man. Mambo. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, bro.
Sasa, real quick.
Yes.
When you come back from the break, I want to ask you, you declared your presidency for your running?
Yes.
And then you disappeared.
I took
like Kaiser Sose. Ukaenda.
Now I'm back in circulation, and this is the first time I'm out here, so I'm happy to be here.
Are you excited?
Very excited.
It's going to be good?
For the country, yes.
Are you going to win?
We are going to win as Kenyans. It's our moment now as young people.
You heard Boniface Mwangi, folks. Would you vote for this man? It's up to you. Keep tweeting at Koinenga Jeff.
At Boniface Mwangi. Oliver Barrows.
At O Barrows. I was watching you guys.
At Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for staying with us on Sunday Live. Tonight, in our series Donkey Beef Season 2, we take you back to Kithioko in Matungulu Sub-County, Machakos County, where a year ago, Citizen TV exposed a syndicate behind the slaughter of donkeys for meat and hide. During our 4 months of investigations in Kithioko, Machakos County, our team discovered that the illegal business still continues. As you'll hear now from Miriam Nyambura, the fight to save donkeys is far from over in Machakos County. Here is the second installment of our series Donkey Beef Season 2.
Kithioko, a little-known village in Matungulu Sub-County, Machakos County.
Wacha nikwambie, hata kama nikuwe sacked, I don't mind. But it is wrong. I have a right.
Was thrust into the limelight in December 2024.
No, tayari umechukua picha.
Yeah, kuchukua doesn't mean kwamba imeenda on air.
Sasa wewe una
When a Citizen TV expose revealed a hidden practice of slaughtering donkeys for meat and hides in the area. November 2025, barely a year after the expose, Citizen TV crew returned to the same slaughterhouse, following reports that the illegal trade continues. Before the operation, our team held a closed-door meeting with Eastern Regional Police Commander Hilary Birgen. On this return mission, we were accompanied by 7 security officers from Embu, attached to the Eastern Regional Police Headquarters. We made a quiet entry. only to find locked gates. 3 people, including a Chinese national who were at the main gate, reportedly escaped. It was clear that our presence had sent jitters. After a few minutes of trying to figure out our way in, we finally gained access. Hides are scattered everywhere, a clear sign that the illegal trade could still be in progress here.
Full uniform, armed.
2 police officers in plainclothes were among 5 who went into hiding, but were later found. The officers even displayed their job cards as proof that they were members of the National Police Service. Our sources say since the December 2024 expose, those running this slaughterhouse changed tact.
Pale kuna wafanyikazi wa mwezi ambao wanafanya kazi hata bila kuingiliana na wananchi wa kawaida, kwa sababu kuna yale mambo ambayo wanafanya na hawataki yaweze kujulikana. Hakuna loko ambaye yameweza kupata kazi ya mwezi pale, kwa sababu wanasema watu wa area wanatoa siri za ile kazi ambao wanafanya.
What makes this trend more worrying is that armed officers guard the property, but now in plain clothes.
Hao askari wakiweza kuja, wakati mwingine wanazunguka hata ule mjengo wa factory, uelewi hata wanafanya nini. Unaona tu askari tu, utajua ni askari kwa sababu wakati mwingine unampata kidioko, lakini ako na civilian, lakini ukimwangalia vizuri ako na silaha. Wa China wenye kazi siku hizi wameama, tangu waweze kumulikwa na ile taarifa wameweza kuama pale. Huwa wanakuja kwa muda, lakini kuna Mchina mmoja ambaye wameleta ili waweze kumtrain, ndiye anaachwa pale.
More rooms were locked. No one was willing to open them, and so investigators had to force their way in to uncover what was hidden behind those walls. Inside, piles of donkey hides lay on the floor, neatly packaged, some labeled according to the weight. This clear evidence of a well-organized illegal operation. At the very same spot, investigators also found account books documenting transactions and movements, including number plates of vehicles used to transport the hides and the delivery dates.
Wakati ule ngozi zimekuwa nyingi, kuna kuwa na roli zile kubwa, trucks zinakuja, ziko na containers, wanaweka ngozi na zinapelekwa Mombasa. Lastly, kulikuwa na containers 5 ambazo ziliweza kuenda kule Mombasa ili ziweze kupeleka kama export. Na kwa hivyo ni biashara ambayo inafanyika, lakini huwa wanajumuisha pamoja hizo ngozi, alafu zikiwa nyingi ndio wanapeleka.
In Athi River town, some 152 kilometers from Kithioko, donkeys are slaughtered for meat. This illegal operation is giving residents of Kamulu, Ruai and other parts of Nairobi sleepless nights. Their animals are stolen and slaughtered.
Wakati punda zinachinjwa tulikuwa tunajiuliza punda zinachinjwa zinaenda wapi? Na kwa bahati kuna fununu ambazo zilikuwa zinatokea. Kama sangu zilichinjwa siku moja 4. Tena zikachukuliwa zingine 4. Hatukuona hata misoga ama ngozi wao. Kumbe kuna mahali kuna kichinjia ambayo sio halali.
Sasa tuliweza kuingia pale, ni njengo kumba imewekwa perimeter wall. Kule ndani kumejaa mizoga mingi ya punda. Environment pale ni mbaya. Manake hata wakaaji wa mahali pale huenda wako na magonjwa juu ya harufu ambayo inapatikana mahali pale.
On December 17th, irate residents who had information on a slaughterhouse in Athi River area stormed the premises and later reported the incident at Muungano police station in Athi River. 100 donkeys were recovered at the slaughterhouse and 3 people were arrested.
Ni kichinjio ambayo haijulikani na serikali. Ndio manake tulipata damu yake na waste zake zote ziko huko ndani. Hakuna disposal, mwenyewe hajajulikana. Ndio manake tunasema si za kununuliwa, hizo ni za wizi.
Waangalie kwa mbali kwa sababu tujui zinatoka wapi. Nairobi ikichinjwa punda kwa vikundi zile niko nazo, wachinjiwe punda 10. Wiki ijayo inakuja 10. Hatuweza kuwa na punda katika Nairobi area. Kwa hivyo kuna mahali hii shimo iko, ichungwe sana tujue ni shimo ambayo hizi punda mahali zinatoka.
The community says they are frustrated. Lack of accountability from authorities and failure by the established systems to respond to their needs pushed them to act.
Mali zinafichwa ni bomba ya mtu tu plot imefenziwa na mawe round, imewekwa gate. Alafu pale ndani ndio hizo shughuli zote zinaendelea. Hiyo si kazi ambayo imeanza saa hii. Imekaa kwa muda mrefu sababu ile mazingira ambazo zimechinjwa kwa muda mrefu sana ambao umepita.
Sources close to Citizen TV indicate that the meat from this slaughterhouse in Athi River is transported to Nairobi, where unsuspecting customers purchase the meat, all the while in the false belief that the donkey meat is beef. Miriam Nyambura, Citizen TV.
You know, there are times that I come from, eating nyama choma, and I feel I really want to carry a heavy load. I feel so strong. It's got to be donkey meat. Okay, don't say anything.
I knew where that was going.
And now, on to Baringo County.
Wait. The third and final installment of...
donkey meat?
Yeah, beef.
Donkey beef?
Yes, will air tomorrow.
Why do they call it donkey beef?
During, Trevor's
donkey
bulletin.
Meat. Beef is... Anyway.
It's a play on words. Yeah.
I'm feeling strong now. Carry a heavy load.
Okay.
And now, on to Baringo County, where we focus on a peculiar approach to fighting alcohol and drug addiction. We look at a church in Poror village in Eldamaravine constituency, which has opened its doors to addicts and recovering addicts as well.
Upendo Fellowship is a safe space where those struggling with addiction share their struggles and stories of resilience. The founder of the church, Reverend Lawrence Bomet, says that his mission has borne fruit and is now spreading to neighboring villages. Safina Chengouma with that report.
As the sun rises over Poror village in Eldamaravine constituency, the reality of a community sinking under the menace of alcohol and drug addiction becomes clear. Nearly every homestead here is sheltering an addict.
Mimi nilitumia bangi mwaka 15. 12 good years non-stop. Haya. Nikaenda nikapunguza bangi kidogo nikiwa Nairobi. Nikatumia heroin mwaka 7. 7 years. Ukiona hata mwili yangu kuna sports ya mashindano. Nilikuwa najidunga, saa zingine na sniff.
Mimi imekuwa hiyo pombe ni part of the meal kwa family. Juu ilikuwa aidha tunaweza hata kuwa na kaugali na kitu ya mboga ya kukula naye hakuna. So kama iko hiyo busa kidogo ilikuwa inabidi tukule naye ugali.
After several failed attempts to save the residents from the shackles of addiction.
Asante Mungu kwa sababu ya huyu ni mtumishi wako, ni mtoto wako.
One man, Reverend Lawrence Bomet, decided to take a different path, establishing a church, Upendo Fellowship, a place where those battling addiction would find love, dignity, and acceptance.
It seems like the church has been turned into a place of the holy people, and these other sinners have been kicked out, which is a complete contradiction to the vision and the calling of Jesus Christ. So if we are going to do any work for Christ, let us reach the lost.
The church offers a safe place for addicts and recovering addicts to share their struggles and stories of resilience.
Wakanivuta, nikaja nyumbani. Nikaja nikakunywa kabisa. Nikakunywa, nikaandikwa kazi nyingine KVDA in 1996. Sikumaliza 2 years. Niko chini ya pombe.
To woo the addicts from their drinking dens, Reverend Bomet devised a simple but powerful approach: food. Soup, served with ugali, prepares their bodies for the much-needed spiritual nourishment.
We had a meal together. In the process, I told them about Jesus. I told them about church. I told them about this idea of starting a church that is targeting them. And I'm not condemning anybody. I'm not judging anybody. I just welcomed them. And they came.
Now, I remember tulikuwa siku 11, siku ya kwanza. Hiyo 11, unajua Moeba huwa na multiply by 2. Tukaambiwa leta rafiki yako. Sasa 11 times 2 ni 22. 22 times 2 Tuko wangapi leo?
Upendo Fellowship attracts about 50 congregants per service. Many arrive with hangovers. Some come in while still drunk. Others step aside during prayers to smoke or take a sip of alcohol before returning to continue with the worship. Here, no one is turned away or judged.
Sisi hatuko tunatoka kwa mtungi bwana. Tunajuana kilemba sisi wenyewe wote. Hata sasa tukinini saa zingine we support each other. Unapata huyu mwingine sasa anataka wewe twende tupige moja leo tu. Ambia hapana bwana, achana na hiyo, kuja twende Pandei.
Within weeks, dozens of men and women who had been shunned by the society began gathering regularly, drawn by the promise of food, dignity and hope.
Piga magoti hapa, mama alimuombea.
Reverend Bomet is indeed a man on a mission to save his community, one meal and one prayer at a time.
Hii kitu naitwa lock. Kutoa lock ni ndio amushe achana. Mimi nilikuwa number 1. Nilikuwa nimetetemeka hivi kwa bombe, lakini Mungu ni mwema. Amen.
Safina Chengoma, Citizen TV.
Nice story there. Huh? Well done. Now, what began as a desperate cry for help from a young Mukuru businesswoman has now turned into a moving story of kindness of strangers and hope.
28-year-old Harriet Akinyi turned to social media on Monday, pleading for help after her restaurant's profits dipped and her dream of becoming a successful entrepreneur nearly came crashing down.
As our very own Citizen TV's Maria Nyambura reports, Harriet's appeal has shown the extraordinary power of social media and the compassion of Kenyans who supported her. Take a look.
Sunday afternoon, outside 28-year-old Harriet Akinyi's restaurant in Nakuru, song and dance filled the air. And Harriet could finally afford a smile. Yet, just 6 days ago, the picture was painfully different.
Imagine leo on a Monday.
Silence hung heavy as she recorded a video of her empty restaurant.
Please, guys.
Staring at closure. Barely 3 months after opening her dream business.
I was at my rock bottom. I had tried to look for auctioneers to hold my things as collateral to give me about 100,000 to 150,000 to save the business.
From earning 15,000 shillings a day to barely making 1,000 shillings a day, Harriet was at her worst.
Let's say today someone asks for chapati and then you tell yourself, oh, so they have started coming, let's make chapati today. We make 4 of them. They don't sell. We end up either throwing away or me giving the employees to eat.
But her tears turned into triumph since her video went viral. Thousands of Kenyans have flocked her restaurant to support her business.
I had never heard about this hotel, so I came here for the first time. And I can tell you that the food is so delicious.
Wakenya hawajasaidia Kinyi peke yake. Wamesaidia wasista wetu au mabrothers wetu wamesaidika because wangekuwa home size.
Harriet's plight has shown a different side of social media. That of compassion. The social media space has often been criticized for negativity.
I'm floating, literally floating. It's like I'm sleeping 1 minute, 1 second. The next I wake up with, surprise, we are here, surprise, I'm from the US, surprise, I'm from Nairobi, I'm from Congo, I'm from where? It's great, it's massive.
The social media is not about negative things, it's also about positive things. And inafaa tufanye advocacy on things you are going through.
Maria Nyambura, Citizen TV.
All right, listen to this next story here, a little uplifting at least. Bikers from different parts of the country have gathered in Nairobi for the annual bike ride dubbed Africa Ubuntu. The event, which is held every last Sunday of January, brings bikers together as one community and reminds people that on Africa roads and in the life, quote unquote, no one rides alone.
That's a beautiful message.
Isn't it?
Right. The Africa Ubuntu Bikers Run began in 2016 in South Africa, started by a small group of riders who wanted to promote unity beyond motorbike clubs, race or background. Inspired by the African philosophy of Ubuntu, I am because we are, the run was created to bring bikers together as one community.
Motorcycling has got a huge scope in this country. There are so many riders who are opting this as a sport, and they are also representing the international platform on the racing. Motorcycling is something which reflect, how we can really bring different culture, different passion, and different nationality even, and different gender together to run for the same passion.
A lot of awareness needs to be done. The airport, the expressway, we are not allowed in. I would want to ask the government to consider this in the amendment of the Motorcycle Regulation Act, which just was being reviewed in Parliament late last year. I would want you to consider private and enable us, because we are a sizable number. Like you see today, we are a sizable number that build the economy of our nation.
Welcome back to the programme. My name's Emmanuel Ndungo. Let's get into the sports news. Nairobi United's continental hopes are hanging by a thread after they suffered a heartbreaking 2-1 defeat to Tanzania's Azam FC in the CAF Confederation Cup Group B match played at Nyayo Stadium on Sunday. Duncan Omala gave the home side hope with a 53rd minute goal, but Azam hit back through Jepthe Kitambala 6 minutes later. A cruel late own goal by goalkeeper Ernest Mohammed in the 78th minute sealed United's fate. So that loss leaves Nairobi United bottom of Group B without a point after 3 matches. But let's now move in to the next story. The Jamad basketball camps, founded by Somali-American basketball star Jamad Feen, held a special clinic at Sabes International School in Nairobi, focusing on empowering young girls from underserved communities through skills development. Feen, a former US college captain and Somalia women's national team player, led the session, stressing the power of sport in building discipline, confidence and opportunity. She also urged the girls to stay proud of their culture and identity. Beyond the court, Jamad uses her camps to offer free training and mentorship, helping young girls dream big and believe in their potential.
I've seen the girls have really enjoyed it, really engaged, and I think they've seen a role model, and often that's what kids need. They need role models, and they need role models they can relate to. And in this case, Jamad is a role model that I think any girl can relate to.
I think a lot of girls, obviously they love playing basketball, they love playing the game, but I think there's moments where they might have questions and they might need advice, but it's very important to make that time for them. I'm very happy that they gave us the space for us to do the basketball camp here, and it's a beautiful moment for the kids also to experience having a beautiful facility like this and playing basketball.
A fantastic initiative there. But let's now move into our final story, a feature we got for you. Morocco set the bar extremely high in the standards of the facilities that were on offer for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, while Morocco is now adding the biggest stadium in the world for the 2030 World Cup with a capacity of 115,000. The next hosts of AFCON are putting the final touches on their much smaller facilities that still meet the CAF and FIFA standards. Our sports editor Michael Kinney takes a look at the Hoima City Stadium in Uganda that was opened a month ago by Uganda President Yoweri Museveni.
Africa and the world were mesmerized by the kind of stadiums that Morocco offered for the Africa Cup of Nations 2025 tournament.
The bar has been set very high and all eyes are now on the East Africa region that will host the 2027 AFCON tournament in Uganda, Tanzania and Kenya. While Kenya announced that the second venue, the 60,000-seater Raila Odinga Stadium, is at 80% complete, Uganda delivered their second stadium in December of 2025. The multipurpose stadium in Hoima, sitting on 34.9 acres, is one of 3 stadiums in Uganda that will be used for the tournament. The 20,000-seater facility was built by the Suma International Construction Company of Turkey at a cost of 16.4 billion Kenya shillings.
We have a presidential directive that single-sourced Suma as the contractor because we wanted a contractor who could deliver the project in time.
The construction of the stadium started in September of 2024 and was expected to be complete in December of 2025. The stadium was handed over in October of 2025, 4 months ahead of schedule. This is a first for Uganda, where a project is completed ahead of time.
By 13 months, they were just finalizing and doing the technical certification of the facility. So in approximately now, 15 months, we have the facility well finished ahead of time.
The stadium that was opened by Uganda President Yoweri Museveni on the 24th of December is part of a sports complex that has a training pitch with a standard athletics track, a semi-Olympic size swimming pool, 2 basketball courts and 2 volleyball courts that can also be used for netball and tennis. Quite impressive, but in their own admission, not to the standards of the Morocco facilities.
But if you might have noticed, the investment plan of the Moroccan government was for 30 years. And among which they were eyeing hosting the World Cup.
That plan has a budget of more than 2 trillion Kenya shillings as Morocco is using football as a vehicle for infrastructure development.
Meanwhile here, our focus basically was to host AFCON 2027. And there's a big difference in the ambition of the 2 countries.
Hoima City Stadium has ticked all the boxes in the required facilities, including a presidential suite, 12 sky boxes and VIP lounges, and 4 changing rooms.
The quality alone, even of the pitch, is a 5-star accreditation, which no pitch ever has got in terms of landscaping. Those of you who had time to be there can attest on the quality. Many people are saying this should be in Europe, not in Africa.
The turf is hybrid, a combination of 90% natural growing grass and 10% artificial grass. Kitara FC and KCCA played a friendly match to open the facility. With the stadium ready, the next phase is to deliver on the 9 training venues as per the CAF requirements. Only 3 are ready, but Uganda has promised to deliver the rest by mid of 2026.
Hoima Boma Ground, Satito Winnie and Masindi Stadium. And all of them, I will invite you at the beginning of February to the launch of all of those, because we only need 6 months to make sure they are constructed and commissioned in readiness of AFCON.
Stakeholders in Uganda are urging the government to put up the other infrastructure in place to beat the deadline set by the Confederation of African Football.
Hoima being a new stadium, we've not really tested it so much. We don't know in terms of hotels, access roads. We are not yet sure. What we are unable to see is the stadium.
Hoima is a tourism city, so it will boost the economy of Uganda. So we can still have games, and it's going to be a boost to our economy.
We must appreciate the government for the effort they have put in. It puts us a bit like a mile ahead. You know, gone are the days whereby every time we're only relying on Nambole. Actually, it was the only pitch we had.
Other than the new stadiums, the 3 hosts of the AFCON 2027 tournament are upgrading existing facilities 18 months before the tournament begins. Hosting the Africa Cup of Nations comes with its own benefits. One of the benefits is that the infrastructure is improved. For example, this is Kasarani Stadium, and before Chan, this was not how it looked like. A lot of improvements have been done here, and for Hoima City Stadium, this will put Uganda on the football map in Africa. Michael Kinyi for Citizen TV in Nairobi.
Thank you very much for that story. Micah Kinney over there in Uganda giving us the latest. But we also have some big news in the English Premier League. Many of you have been watching along. Man U beat Arsenal 3-2. The entire world is happy with that result.
Oh,
apart from...
You did not say that.
I did not say that.
You did not say that.
Apart from Boniface Mwangi and his son over here who's 18.
18 years old.
Never seen Arsenal lift an English Premier League title.
Bado. This is our year.
We'll see about that.
Despite losing today.
Yeah, we still have 4 points ahead, so there's hope.
Yeah. 4 is tight, eh? So 4 is tight.
Yes.
Lakini mko sawa?
Can even win with 1. Man City won with 1 point.
Can you win the presidency?
Yes, I can win the presidency. That's why I'm here. I'm going to become your next president.
Boniface.
Zoea raisi wako tafadhali.
Boniface Mwangi, my guest coming up. He wants to be president. Would you vote for this man? At Korenga Jeff.
At Boniface Mwangi.
At Emmanuel ND.
At O Barrows. At Citizen TV Kenya.
Hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live takes a break. We'll be back with Bonnie.
For president.
Bonnie for president. In a moment.